Hey everyone, I'm Lauren from My Something Beautiful Life, and this is the Erin Condren Dashboard Layout Planner. I was so wrong about this planner, but really in the best way possible. I originally really loved this planner. When I saw that this was going to be an option, I was really excited, which is why I picked it in the first place. And then after I got it and just working up until July, I started thinking about the other dashboard layout planners I had tried and how all of them had failed, and I just really wasn't excited about this one anymore. Meanwhile, at the same time, I've been kind of going through a planner funk, which happens to me more often than I'd like to admit, and I was really struggling trying to decide which planner to use. And then the academic planner came out from Erin Condren, and I totally fell in love with it. I was fully intending to purchase one as soon as they were released because I love what they did with the layout. And just for the record, I think that would be an amazing planner for lots of different situations. Definitely don't limit it to just students, because I actually think that it would be really great for a lot of people. I still think I would do really well with it, but in the process of just trying to figure out which planner I wanted to use, I decided to just give this one a try, and it instantly clicked. Not just that, but as I just started working through the different pages that there were that I could use for various things, it just seemed like everything that I needed a space for planning just kind of fell into place to where I could use this planner for most of the things that I need to plan for. And so I want to flip through it with you and show you how I have it set up and just explain some of the things that I plan to use it for. Okay, so I'm not going to go through the full details of the entire planner, mostly because I do already have a video doing that, but honestly, you have probably seen that already, and this is going to be a setup video, not a review. One thing I would like to do though is add some sort of decoration to this vellum. I love that you can see the flowers behind it, but I saw some other people that just kind of covered this in stickers, and I really like that idea, and I think that would be fun. So I think I want to try to do something kind of scrapbooky with this vellum. So one of the things that I'm definitely going to utilize in this planner are the snap-in dashboard dividers. I absolutely love these. I am obsessed with the new colors that they just came out with. And so I've been having a lot of fun using these in this planner as well. So the first one that I have actually has all of my goals on it. So on this side I have my personal goals, and then on the back side I have my business goals. I have not done anything with this page yet. I might. I really like this page, but I'm not going to force it. So if something comes up that I think this page would be good for, I will definitely use it. But if not, I'm probably just going to leave it blank. And then we have the monthly calendar, which I did set up. Honestly, I hate the way this looks. I think these colors look awful together. I was really trying to force the blue for 4th of July, and then there's like this green sidebar, and then I went and put the yellow in there, which just made it more weird. So I hate the way this turned out, but I am determined that August will look much prettier. And I did not end up using this at the beginning of July. I think I started here on the 14th. And I think what really made this layout work for me when other dashboard layouts haven't is the way that this weekly page is set up. Most of the dashboard layouts I have seen have had like a vertical line like that. I don't think Happy Planner does. I think Happy Planner has it set up like this, but for whatever reason, Happy Planner never worked for me either. But I love that this is in blocks instead of just the horizontal spaces across the page. So this particular one, I was just kind of playing around with it because it was the first one. Generally speaking, I absolutely hate habit trackers, and you can see that I really didn't even do much on here. So obviously having it there didn't really help me remember to do those things, but I'm going to keep trying. I set some new habits for this week. I did actually put some things on the calendar that were happening in advance, while on this side I was kind of writing things as they happened instead of writing things that would happen. And even with this layout, I'm still experimenting a little bit. I've just been kind of trying things out to see where I like having different things. You can see I used some sticky notes here instead of actually writing on the page. I don't know, I was just brainstorming things and they just ended up on sticky notes. So this isn't necessarily stuff that I would want to write on the page to begin with. It was just notes I made, and so I just stuck it in the planner. I use sticky notes a lot, so this type of thing is pretty common for me. But moving forward, I did some more brainstorming about the kinds of things that I want to have on my planner. And this is going to come into play a little bit more as I explain more about how I'm going to use the rest of the planner. But basically, I'm going to use my monthly calendar to track everything. So it will have appointments, holidays, birthdays. I'm going to put my bills on here. I want to keep my content calendar on here. Any new releases that companies are coming out with that I need to make a note of, and any important business dates and events that are going on. Everything is going to be on here. I want everything in just one central location. And I started making some notes of some things that are happening in August as well. And then we have this dashboard planning page for the month. And this isn't completely set in stone yet, but I think this is a pretty good idea of how I want to use it. But one thing I love is that it doesn't have to be the same every month. You can switch it up as you go and as needs change. For me, that's usually as I realize things that I thought I wanted to keep track of and I really don't, or things that I need a space for and don't currently have. So while this is a tentative plan, it's definitely not something that I'm going to guarantee is going to be how I use it all the time. But I want to keep my monthly goals up in this box. This will probably be exclusive to personal goals, not business goals. Something I have been doing this year is separating my business goals from my personal goals, where in the past I kind of just grouped everything together. But I'm just realizing that business goals have an entire life of their own. And I just don't want to mix them anymore because I feel like I'm picking business goals over personal goals. And then the personal things are not getting any progress made on them. So I want to be very intentional about setting personal goals and then setting my business goals separately. Same thing with my to-do list. This is going to be a personal to-do list, not a business to-do list. In this box, I want to put my scripture study schedule for the month, and I'm really not sure what to do with this yet. I know I had some ideas at one point, but I don't even remember what they were. If you have some fun ideas for this section, please let me know. I would love to hear what you use it for or just what you think I should use it for. You might come up with a great idea that I hadn't thought of as we talk about the rest of this planner that would just be perfect for what I would need. I'm definitely open to group brainstorming. And then on this side, it's going to be all business notes. So this can be my business goals, business to-dos, any projects that I'm working on, whatever it needs to be. One thing I have very clearly learned about things involving my content and my plans related to that is that it's very fluid and it changes frequently. There's no way I could set up a structured framework for this page that would just stay the same all the time. So this page can be very flexible for whatever I need it to be. And then we get into the weeks. So the days of the week, I will probably just do whatever I need that week. If I need to plan in advance, I can do that. If I just want to track things on a daily basis that I'm going to work on or that I did work on, I can do it that way too. I'm not going to make any final decisions about how that's going to be done. And one thing I noticed kind of late in the process was this little box down here. And I really am not sure what I'm going to use it for. I have some ideas written here that are possibilities, but I'm really not sure yet. So I may just try out some things and see how it goes. I don't want something that's going to get lost into the weekly schedule. I want it to be very intentional. I think that's probably what I'm trying to focus on, is being intentional about using the space for the things that I actually need to write down, instead of just filling it with fluff that I think might be fun, but I really don't need. It's so easy to fall into that when we see other people doing something. And so it's just a constant learning process to actually be realistic about what I need. And then on the dashboard page, I'm going to use this top section for goals. So the priority box is actually going to be for my weekly goals. And then of course my habits that I want to track. I consider all of that somewhat goal related. Something else I'm really trying to do is not set 100 goals for a week. And so I actually really like that it's going to be limited to this smaller box. I think that will actually help give me a lot more focus. And I didn't write it on a post-it note, but I am going to just use the to-do section as a to-do list. This one I actually haven't decided if I'm going to mix business to-dos with personal. I kind of would like to keep them separate or maybe do one column of each. Honestly, I don't know if half of this is enough space to write down the things that I would need to do for work. but that is an option I'm considering. So again, it will probably just be something that I play around with and see how it goes. And then I'm going to use this bottom note section down here for anything business related for the week. One thing that has been on my mind lately is that we often categorize our life too much. Sometimes that can be really helpful. I know I do it a lot when I need to get things more clear in my head. It makes it easier if I put them into different categories, kind of like a task batching sort of thing, so that when I'm working in one area, I can stay focused in that area. And that's totally fine. But at the same time, I just have my one life to live. And whether I'm working or doing something for church or working on my personal goals and skills I want to develop, anything like that, it's all just my one life. And I really like the idea of having it all together in a place where I can see, but still have it separated so that I can focus on different areas, whatever I need to be working on at the moment. So this is the layout I'm going to try for next week. As I was planning this out, it just seemed like everything was falling into place, and so I'm really confident that this will be helpful. Of course, there's things that I don't know what it's going to be, like this box down here, but I'm really happy with the overall idea for this planner. And then at the very end, I did choose to get the add-on notes pages. So this is where I have another one of the tabs. So in this tab, I want to have my sinking funds and my savings goals on this side. And then on this side, I'm going to put a list of all of my bills. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm going to use this notes section for my finances. It has been a really long time since I have attempted to keep my finances in my regular planner. Honestly, I don't know if I've ever done it, but I also know much better my budgeting style and the things that I need to keep track of and the goals that I'm working towards. And I have counted out that I have two 2-page spreads, so basically 4 pages for each month, and that will work out almost perfectly. I think there's like 2 or 3 pages extra, including this one on the front, because I don't plan to use this page. In fact, maybe I'll use it for my financial goals or something like that. But I have plenty of notes paper in here to cover the whole year. And if you want to see more detail about how I budget, I will link to a video below, and I'll probably put it in the end screen at the end of this video if you want to get to it easily. And that will just explain in much better detail how I like to budget, and then this will probably make more sense why I just need some blank paper. And then at the very end, I've also included another one of these pocket dashboards, and this one is going to be content related. So within the pockets, I want to put a list of my projects and things that I'm working on, any notes that I need. That can go all inside the pocket, probably just on one side. And then on the other side, I'm going to use a bunch of sticky notes and just write my content ideas. So any ideas for YouTube videos or blog posts, I like putting them on sticky notes. It makes them easy to move around. And so I'll probably just fill this page with sticky notes of different ideas. There are rare occasions when I do need extra planning space for my content, but honestly, lately I have been reaching more just for a plain notebook than for my actual content planner, which there's nothing wrong with my content planner. It just seemed easier to use normal notebook pages. And so if I end up missing the space, I can always go back to it because I do have it and I have tons of room left in it for the rest of the year. I also have my separate monthly planner that I've been using for my budget and goals if I need extra space for that. Honestly though, I've been so minimal with how I've been planning lately. I really think everything's gonna fit in here. And I love the idea of having it all together and eliminating 2 of the other planners that I've been using lately. If you've watched my other videos, then you know that I have a very large collection of planners. I like to try them out and experiment with them, and I really don't think that's going to change. But I've also been just craving simplicity lately, and I really think that this is going to be a step in the right direction for that. In the back of the book, I still have the stickers that it came with. I've actually been using some of them, and so I'm kind of leaving them here. Normally I would take them out. I have a whole collection of these. I love these stickers. I do use them quite a bit. Normally I just don't keep them in the planner, so I might end up taking them out too, but because I've been using them, I might also leave them in. And then we have the pocket in the back, which is always helpful. I always end up sticking things in these pockets, so I am grateful to have that too. And that is pretty much my setup. I'm really curious to see how this goes. I'm optimistic about it. I'm still a little surprised that the dashboard layout clicked so well for me. I was convinced I was going to hate it, I'll be honest. And just to clarify, I didn't think that at first. It was something that just kind of gradually happened over time, and I think it just came from the planner funk that I was in. I really didn't want to use any planner, like any of the ones that I had available to me. Nothing was just feeling very fun, and overall I think I was just very bored. I needed something new, and I am so glad that this actually did work, and I'm glad that I actually gave it a chance and tried it. So if you have any questions about this planner or pretty much anything, go ahead and leave them in the comments. I'm happy to answer anything I can. I hope that this video was helpful and fun for you. Again, if you want to see how I budget, you can check out this video right here. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.